Hey guys, so a lot of you wanted to know how I cut up this pork loin from Giant. So this thing is humongous. I think it was like 8 pounds or something like that. So some of you were interested on how to break this down. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. So first off, it's in the vacuum seal. So you wanna cut off the plastic, dump any of the juices down the drain, and then we'll talk about the next step. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is just cut it in half because it's way too big to work with my cutting board, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, just keep in mind, I am not like a butcher or anything. This is just what I do. This is what works for our family, and it's probably not the proper way to do things, but some of you were asking, so this is what I do. So I will take this piece here and lay it inside my sink on top of the plastic until I'm ready to work with that. So now with this piece here, I'm going to start by cutting off this huge, I think they call this a cab, this huge chunk of fat. Now, I don't know, maybe you're supposed to keep it on. I do not like fat on the meat, so I'm gonna go ahead and start slicing off this huge chunk of fat. I know some people will render it down when they're skillet frying pork chops or whatever, but I think it's gross. I'm going to cut it off and have as lean as a pork loin as possible. And then also, if I'm going to use this for roast, I don't want a ton of grease in the crock pot. So that's what I'm going to start doing now. So it kind of helps if you get a chunk of it off and just kind of gently pull, and it kind of helps guide your knife to where you're not cutting off the meat, but you're cutting off the fat. So that's what I feel like works. And you might want to try to use a cutting board that has the grooves to kind of help you not have juices all over your counter. So try to do that if you can. It's okay to leave some fat on. It's just, I try to cut off as much of the huge chunks as possible without cutting into your meat, because you definitely don't want to be doing that if you can help it. Okay, so we got most of the fat off here. It's okay to leave some of it. Obviously, a little bit of it's going to be pretty good, but look how beautiful and trim that piece there is. Now, what I'll do here, you could just cut this off for a roast, probably like depending on your family size. You could cut it off here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a huge chunk off right about here. And then I'm going to cut these, this part right here. I'm going to cut this into chunks to make pork and sauerkraut in the Instant Pot. If I remember, I will do a little video if you're interested on that. We always do that in Pennsylvania for New Year's Day. So that's what I'm going to do with this, because it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little tore up, so this will be better for that, and use this nice solid piece for pork chops. I'll actually probably cut this about here for another roast, and then I will slice these probably pretty thin like this for pork chops on the grill. And then with my other piece, it's the same thing. You cut off the huge piece of fat, and then you can break it down however you want. I will probably do some more pork chops, maybe a little bit thicker. I have a pork chop and stuffing recipe on my channel that we love to use. It's really, really yummy. So that's what I do with my pork. I make these, usually the ends are kind of ugly, so I'll cut them up into cubes, and then I'll do a pork roast here, and like I said, pork chops. I'll do a little video showing you how I cut up the pork chops, but it's pretty simple. Okay, so I got the other piece cut up. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. These are all going to just be pork chops. I'm going to slice them. I like for the grill to be pretty thin just to ensure they're cooked. And then for the crock pot, I'll maybe go at 3/4 of an inch, but it's really easy. You just kind of, you might want to grip it a little bit. and just cut like normal. The first one might be a little lopsided, but it's okay. And there you go. Like, it's a great little piece. I did, like I said, trim all that huge fat off. For the grill though, you might want to have some fat on it. But anyway, it's super simple and easy to cut up this huge piece of meat. They actually, if you go to the meat department, they will cut it into pork roast for you, and they will cut that huge cab of fat off as well. They did that for me last year, but I like to cut them into pork chops so I don't ever have them do that. But it's a great way to save money if you can buy the whole pork loin on sale and go ahead and break it down yourself for future meals. Okay guys, so here's the finished product. The huge pork loin is cut into so many pieces for meals. So in here we have the chunks for the pork and sauerkraut. I got 14 regular cut pork chops, a pork roast here, and then 7 thin cut pork chops for on the grill. So an amazing deal if you were able to grab the deal this week at Giant. Like I said, I'm not a butcher, I'm not a chef. This is just what I do, DIY at home to try to save a little bit of money. All right guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.